Joining me now is Kurt Hagstrom. He's Synchron's Chief Commercial Officer. Kurt, welcome to the New York Stock Exchange.
Thanks for having me, Ashley.
All right, so before we get into this funding news, can you tell me what work is Synchron doing?
So Synchron is developing really the first scalable brain-computer interface. This is a neurotechnology that's designed to restore autonomy and independence in individuals that have lost it due to paralysis, whether it's disease or whether it's trauma. This implant allows them to connect to everyday digital technology.
And I understand you have the implant. Can you give us a demo?
I do, yes. Well, I can't do the demo because this is inserted, it is implanted into the body, but this is the technology right here. And so what you're looking at on this side here is the part that goes inside the blood vessel, and this part goes in here just right above in the chest area. So this allows you to collect the neural signals and then send the neural signals out via Bluetooth.
And I understand there is connectivity, you said, to Bluetooth, so
yes.
to the phone.
Yeah, so what we were able to do this year, we were the first ones to work with Apple, and Apple created a unique way to connect with the BCI, called the BCI HID. So this allows a unique native connection with the Apple ecosystem, allowing to natively control an iPad, the Vision Pro, an iPhone. So we're very excited to be the first to be able to do that with the Apple ecosystem.
Congratulations on the $200 million round of funding.
Thank you.
How do you plan to allocate the capital?
Yeah, great question. So what you just saw is essentially our commercial system. And so this funding is going to be used to accelerate that from the clinical phase to commercial phase. We're also looking at funding and bringing in new neuroscience engineers, new operators, new engineers for designing and manufacturing materials. And both of those will be at basically two hubs. So we're trying to scale our business both here in New York City, as well as actually San Diego, where we'll start to scale some of our new innovations and kind of those disruptive innovations around materials and next-gen systems.
And I understand you're in those two locations, New York and San Diego. Can you talk
Yes.
about the work that you're doing in each location? And is that a strategic placement of resources? Yeah,
great question. So if you think about what we're doing here in New York, this is really around the tech side of it, the AI side of it. And so this is where looking at the data and connecting the neural data into the tools that AI provides. So this is where that tech hub will be essentially in New York City. When you think about San Diego, you think about neurosciences, you think about manufacturing, you think about scaling more in the med tech realm. And so you basically have the two coasts really coming together to design an amazing system and an amazing company.
And how does your first generation Strentrode BCI differ from competing offerings in the marketplace?
Yeah, it's extremely unique. We are the only ones that don't require you to drill open the skull and what is called a craniotomy. And so we actually take and get to the axis of the neural signals via a blood vessel. So just like everywhere else in your body, you have blood vessels in your brain. And so we take this back door up into the brain, place what looks like a stent, just like cardiology stents. You place a stent within the blood vessel and you can listen to the brain within the blood vessel. And so that's really a differentiating factor that allows us to scale within all the thousands of cath labs there in the country and really the world.
Where are you right now in the process of bringing this to market, and what does that timeline look like?
Yeah, so we're very excited because what I just showed you is really what will be our commercial product. So we are building product today. We are still in the clinical phase of product, so we're not in commercialization yet. So we are scaling up for a pivotal trial, which will be the trial for end up being commercialization of the product. Allows us to go market it from an FDA perspective. So that's the product that we're going to be doing to scale the market, and we're still a few years away from commercializing the product. But today we're working with all the folks that will help us get us, the advocacy groups, and a lot of the people that this system would be used for. They're giving us their opinions, they're engaging with us, they're part of our journey to make sure when we launch this to market, it's something that's not just designed for them, but with them.
And you said you're in clinical trials right now, so is this actually implanted?
So we've done two big clinical trials, landmark trials to date, called the SWITCH trial and the COMMAND trial. That was really the proof point of our approach, this minimally invasive, taking it through the blood vessel approach. We got stellar safety profile results on those trials. We're next prepping for this next clinical phase with our first gen commercial system. So we're about to embark on our next clinical phase here over the next couple months, and then that will scale into our pivotal trial.
What is your hope for this technology? Like I understand there's an element of altruism and helping people. Like what do you want people to get out of this technology?
Yeah, we meet people every day that have lost independence and autonomy, and it's really difficult for an everyday person that goes on their busy life to understand what that feels like. So our mission at Synchron is to restore that autonomy and independence for individuals that have lost it. And then you think about accessing the brain, in a novel way to be able to understand how the brain works. There are thousands of neurological diseases that we can start to tackle and understand now that you can access the brain in a very different way and understand how it works.
All right, Kurt Hagstrom, Synchron's Chief Commercial Officer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ashley.